Hello, world. Welcome to the Neighbor Ladies. I'm Colleen Cruz. It's our new show. It's the Neighbor Ladies. Welcome to our neighborhood. We are the ladies in your neighborhood. We're in the neighborhood where bomb shelters still exist, where fancy freeze means more than the cold shoulder. So pull up a chair and join our Tupperware party. Let me introduce the Neighbor Ladies. We have our first neighbor lady, Boston. Hey, Boston, how's it going?
It's going really good. It's so nice to be in the neighborhood. I'm usually not allowed in any neighborhood, so this is a treat.
That's a bunch of bullshit, and you know that, right? I mean, it's.
I've been discovered.
You've been discovered.
I've been discovered.
You've been discovered. You're in the neighborhood.
What can I say? They even let me live in the suburbs. I'm very excited.
We're going to hear all about that in just a minute.
Oh, enough of me.
And right, because we're going to go to the next neighbor lady. We've got Karen J. Karen J, hey, how's it going?
Hello. Hey, it's going good.
Good.
I'm great to be here.
Glad to hear it. We'll know more about all of us in just a second. And our next neighbor lady, Suzanne. Suzanne Nielsen.
It's me, Suzanne. Hi.
All right. So we're the neighbor ladies. And, we're figuring it out. Let me. Can you tell it's been a while since I've done this? Okay, here's the deal. Boston and I'm Colleen Cruz, and we were walking around. I'm the last neighbor lady, by the way. And Boston and I were walking around Lake Calhoun, and she was making me laugh. And we were talking about the news of the day, whatever that is. And we were talking about our lives. And I thought, hey, you know what? Let's make this a podcast. All the kids are doing it. And then we got Karen J in on it and Suzanne in on it. And it's kind of like The View and kind of not.
Except it's better.
Except it's better. It's kind of like The Chew, except it's kind of not. It's kind of like
we don't have a lot of food, but we can talk about anything we want.
We can talk about anything we want. And
we can swear.
We can. I think I said
unrated
bullshit within the first
unrated
10 seconds.
We could get a swear jar, and then whenever somebody drops a big swear word like they do at my house, you put money in the jar.
What's your favorite swear word?
Fuck.
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
No, don't.
We weren't gonna talk about recreational activities till later, girls.
Is it swearing is a recreational activity?
Well, you missed the joke, but anyways, that's
my favorite word. Fuck.
Oh, I see.
We're talking about activities. Anyways, F is really a huge word at my house because I have teenagers. So if we can get like $200 in the swear jar, it's
have your
like
kids ever said "fuck you, mom"?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Have they really?
Oh, I'm a mean mom. Yes.
No way.
Seriously, they have. Yeah.
They have.
Yeah.
At what age?
Yeah.
They don't respect you. I'm sorry.
No, it hasn't happened in about 18 months, 2 days, and about 42 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The worst mine I've said is I hate you.
Yeah.
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 No, I mean, it was only like once, And,
Yeah.
It was a pretty. We'll talk more later.
I haven't said. I can't remember ever saying that to my mom. I said. I said once to my mother when I was. Of course, it always happens when you're a teenager, and you say the worst possible things
Oh,
to
yes,
your
yes.
parents
Yeah.
when you're a teenager. You just think, "What's the?" And I said to my mom, I think I might have been stoned. Not sure. I was high there for about 3 years solid. But I think I was really mad at her because she read my diary, and I was trying to think of the shittiest thing I could say to her, and I said, "I hope your guts are twisting." And she laughed so hard. She looked at me for a second, and she said, "My guts? You hope my guts are twisting? What is that? Who says that?" And that was it. I felt ridiculous. I felt absolutely ridiculous. But that's the worst thing I ever said to her.
I violated personal space. I did go in the room looking for something. And
You
then
did not.
I did. And I was looking for, I just wanted proof that they knew about birth control. And I got the big F-bomb thrown at me, and probably rightly so. So I violated privacy. It involved a 2-hour family meeting, of which I lived through.
All right.
Because I'm here tonight. So that's a good thing.
God, you have family meetings and everything?
Oh, God, it's formal at my house. It really is.
That does sound,
We've done family meetings.
Look, I married a
Have you
Lutheran
really?
man.
Yeah.
Do you guys raise your hand before you talk, or
Only
how
me.
do you-
Only
Oh,
me.
okay.
I'm still
Yeah.
being punished for the...
sounds like you eat off plates and everything. Not paper plates.
Yeah.
The real ones.
Yeah. But I won't fix the broken dishwasher because I want them to wash their own dishes by hand. Anyways,
Boston, how old
I
are your
digress.
kids?
17 and 18.
And you've got kids too, right?
Right.
Karen?
Mine are 18 and 19.
You don't have any kids, do you?
I have two.
You do?
Yes. I have a 24-year-old and a 28-year-old.
We all have kids.
Yeah,
we all have
boys.
two.
We all-
have
and we-
boys.
And you have boy. I have a boy and a girl.
Yeah, me
I have
too.
a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, slug bug. Oh, sorry.
And you know, when my youngest coming
getting
back
violent here.
to the F word, I remember I didn't take my kids on a lot of outings, but I did take them to Disney on Ice, and one
Because
of the
boys love ice skating.
Right. And Evan was almost 3, and we were probably in front of a very Christian family. And when The Wicked Witch of the West came out, he stood up and gave the Wicked Witch the finger.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like we all should.
Yeah. And the people behind me were just appalled. Yeah.
They probably went home and prayed for your
Yeah,
family.
I'm sure they did.
I gotta tell you guys a story.
They had their knees were scraping on that one, baby. You know it. The genuflecting right in the parking lot.
We're just going to go with this. We're going to go with this topic for now. Okay, what are we talking about? Yeah, what
Ice
happens?
skating?
What happens
Oh.
when your kids swear? Okay, so we're now 3 of us are comics. Boston's a comic. Karen J's a comic. I'm a comic. Right. The only one that's not a comic is Suzanne.
And I'm not funny.
No,
Oh,
it's
you
just-
are
Yeah,
very
okay.
funny.
You're humorless. You're the one audience member that we have for this entire show.
She's
You're going to get all of
normal.
our attention,
I
Suzanne.
know.
You truly
No,
are.
actually, she's not normal. I rode with her here.
You know what? That car trip is always the best way to find out
the
what
first
people
time I
like.
met Suzanne, she offered to show me her tits right away. I'm not kidding. She said, "I don't know if you want to see them, but I'll show you my tits right
Kids, save the tits for later. Where else can we go after a word like that? What were we
I was like,
talking about?
whoa.
I'm going to tell you a swearing story. I'm going to
she's
tell you a
really
swearing
funny.
I gotta
story.
shut up so
Okay, I'm
Colleen
sorry.
can tell us.
Our kid, I don't know if your kids grew up in a comedy club. My kids grew up in a comedy club, right? I mean,
Oh,
did you
yeah,
bring
yeah,
your kids
yeah.
to
You bring-
shows?
yeah.
Did you ever bring your
Bring
kids
them
to
to
shows?
shows, yeah.
My kids, because I was so cheap, I couldn't get babysitters. I was
Mm-hmm.
so broke, I couldn't get babysitters. So I always brought them into the green room. Always brought them in the green room. I mean, this is like from the time they were 6 months old. And I would always get, one of the waitresses would hold the baby while I went and did my set, and then I'd leave, right? And Isaac, my son, he was maybe about 3 years old. He would hear stuff. I mean, they hear like the worst language. They hear fuck,
Yeah.
fuck, shit, damn, motherfucker, all this stuff, right? And one time, Isaac got really mad at me, and he said, fuck, 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 right? and he's 3 years old, and I said, Isaac, you can't say that. You can't. I mean, he was more like 5 years old. Okay, so yeah, I said you can't say that. He said, well, you say it on stage, and everybody else says it on stage. And I was working. I think I was working at Acme that night, and he used to be able to do the mic check, right? And I said those words are okay if you're on stage. And whoever was running the board at Acme, right, would always say, do the kids want to do the mic check? Because they'd turn it on before the show, right? And so absolutely without no one did this. So I said, okay, Isaac, you can go. Can I do it? Because it's a thrill to talk in the microphone, right? Isaac runs out, goes into the microphone, 5 years old, he says, how are all you motherfuckers doing? That was
my
it.
God.
That was it. And now he turned out all right.
And now he's in jail.
No, he's not in jail.
Now
He
he's
turned out-
successful.
He's in LA, right?
He is in LA. The
Okay.
kids are in LA. I am such an empty nester. My kids are gone. And you're an empty nester too,
Well,
right?
I
They're
have
adults.
one around.
You do?
Oh yes, I have
It's a
one
boomerang?
around. It is a boomerang.
You got a boomerang.
Yeah. And this is the kid this is the young one. He, when we tried to be Christians for a while, we went to my aunt's house, who's not Christian.
What is
and
she?
She's Jewish.
She's some kind of
and
pagan?
and so we go there, and she says, I want to hear you pray, because I told her that we were going to the Methodist church, and he started to pray, and he said, I want to thank you for the cottage cheese, I want to thank you for the potato bread, and I want to thank you for my penis. And and I just remember taking him by the scruff of the neck into the other room, and he's like, what? I'm happy I have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
And-
what, Mom? I say
and
this all the time
you
at
know
home,
what?
and you don't
and
do
they're
that.
really proud of it.
They should be.
Yeah,
should
they're
be. Yeah.
really proud
Oh,
of
yeah.
it.
What is that, an extra 25 cents an hour?
God.
Yeah.
It's
Just
their,
for-
it's their first and favorite toy.
Yes,
Always.
it is. Yes.
You ever
Yeah.
you hear that great line that Willie Nelson said? He just had a birthday, and somebody said, "How's it feel to?" He's like 82. Can't remember. Totally paraphrasing. He said, "How's it feel to be 82?" And he said, "Well, I outlived my dick," which is kind of like you go, "Wow, is that a good thing?"
He's
I don't know
feeling
if I
good.
want to
He
outlive
doesn't
my
care.
vagina. Not sure if I want to do that.
He's high.
Yeah, he's high.
He's high.
Well, and pot is legal now, right? Every place. So, and he must need
Except here.
something
It's
for
not
medicine.
legal.
Oh no,
Yeah.
yeah. Just if you
Yeah.
need, if you
I
have
mean,
a
if you have
condition.
glaucoma.
If you have a condition.
Yeah.
So many
I
people
could-
have
I could-
glaucoma now.
I could get it. I
Lots
could
of
get
glaucoma.
it.
And they're driving and texting with glaucoma.
Yes.
It's just amazing.
Yes. Yes. And they're hitchhiking.
Yeah.
But don't they only let you get it in pill form or something?
Oh, I think so.
Does it
Yeah.
give you the same effect?
Have
anyone
you?
know?
Are you saying you don't know?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Haven't you ever eaten pot?
Yeah.
I mean, in an edible?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but not
It's
in
got
a
to be
pill
the same
form.
thing.
Yeah.
No, I think
but
it's
like
different.
a brownie. Do you eat a brownie?
No,
Cookie?
I would
Gummy?
never have done that because I just did Chablis. Because if you were gonna, because if you could, that haven't made you a bad girl if you like ate drugs.
I should say here, three of us are Boston's sober, Suzanne's sober, I'm sober, Karen J's not sober.
I'm drinking a Coors Light.
and we're okay.
she is
with
drinking
that.
a Coors Light.
All
That's-
three of us have volunteered
But I'm
the
not
driver.
I'm not an alcoholic.
We're not saying you
Look,
are.
but please
I'm
have
just
fun.
saying it's weird that you
Hey,
have to do
it's
that
okay.
while you work.
It's okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That's fine.
And
So you never
we'll
smoke pot?
volunteer to bring you to a
I'm
meeting.
I'm very bronchial. I could never smoke. I mean, I lit up half a Marlboro to try to be cool with the other camp counselors, and they begged me to quit. I mean, this is a true story. My sister will validate this. She's a chain smoker to this day. And she says, and then when everyone was smoking pot, they're like, don't invite her. Give her the wine. I mean, it was, I was ostracized,
What is
but
it?
for my own good.
What do you mean you're bronchial?
Bronchial,
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah,
Like Jack
bronchitis?
Klugman?
No, yeah, kind of like Jack.
Oh.
No, I just cough really easily.
Okay.
Cats throw
that-
up. I cough. I mean, it's just
You get hairballs.
yeah, it's really that bad.
So you never smoke pot?
So-
Never?
No, I didn't.
Boston
Seriously.
never smoked pot.
What
No.
about acid? Come on.
You've seen this personality.
Who
Why
here
would
has
we
done
mess with
acid?
it?
Who here has done acid? Raise your hand.
I wouldn't have known where to
yeah.
find it. Seriously, they would
the
have been
only
afraid
one
of
who's
me.
done acid is
Come
Suzanne.
on.
I've never done it.
Oh,
No.
you
No, I
all
never
have
did.
done it.
No, I
I've
haven't.
No,
done
seriously, it's just because I was like such a dweeb. Honest to God, they saw me coming and they're like, "Oh God, nerd child, leave her alone."
Oh,
She couldn't
God.
even smoke a Marlboro. Why are we going to sell this to her?
I was last time I did acid. I was in the bathroom at Hauser's house with my friend Marcia, and she was convinced that the Mona Lisa shower curtain was talking to her, and I guess
probably was.
Yeah, I think it was. I really do.
See,
It's like-
dead sober, I would have thought that shower
yeah,
curtain
yeah,
was
you
talking to me.
probably would have.
What I like about what Suzanne just said is that she said the last time I did acid.
Right.
It wasn't when I did it, it was
I-
like the last time I did it.
I thought maybe it was last weekend. I was hopeful for this one. This is
And you've never done it, Karen J.
No. The only thing I've ever done is pot.
That's
Wow.
pot and alcohol.
Right.
Same here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same here. Pot and alcohol.
Yeah.
That's it. But so I've made pot brownies. I had a friend that had throat cancer, and he was a big pot smoker, and he used to get the best stuff. And he said, and I smoked pot when I was in high school. Then I quit. I quit before because I was just done with it. I was just super done with it, and super done with that crowd. And it was nothing against the crowd. It was just like it robbed me of my ambition. And I started getting ambitious right about at 17, 18 years old. I wanted to be a comic, and I just wanted to be able to go after that. And that was more of a drinking crowd. Am I wrong on that?
no,
I mean,
you're
it's
not
more-
wrong. I think that it really was. I mean, we had a lot of opportunities to to drink.
2 drink minimum.
I can't
right?
even believe I'm talking about this, but
Right.
you
I
had
don't know.
a
I
2
feel
drink
like now
minimum.
it's
yeah.
more like 50-50, like both. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
Well, so I had just kind of gotten out of that. But then when I was 30 years old, I thought I was waitressing, and somebody was. I thought, why are all these kids? They're all like in their mid-20s. They're 5 years younger than I thought. Why are they so happy doing side work at the end of the night? It's because they all cut out and smoked pot in the alley, and they could roll silverware like nobody's business because they were all baked. And I thought, that's it. I'm going to get high with the kids. And then I loved it. You only need, right now, the pot is so strong, you need 1 toke. That's it.
Yeah.
And then you're absolutely out of this world. And so then I thought, oh, this is great. I loved it at work, and then I bought some. It's also super expensive now. I bought some and I tried to smoke, and then unfortunately my kids came home. You don't know the kind of paranoia being high in front of your kids. Have you ever been high in front of your kids?
No.
Oh my God. No, that was it. And then I ended up giving the pot away. That was it. I was like, I got super
Who'd you
paranoid.
give it to?
I can't. I think I gave it to one of the kids. I think I just said, you know what, this is not good. Not my kids. Oh Jesus Christ!
the kids at work.
I didn't give it to my kid. Here, your mom doesn't like this. Maybe like it's a pair of shoes.
Stick it in
that
the
don't
oatmeal
fit
for
me.
breakfast or something. Stir that in. It's the
No.
brown sugar. It's
No.
beautiful.
But I learned how to make pot brownies for my friend that had throat cancer, and then I ended up making all these pot brownies for people that wanted. They found you become the baker, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You become the baker because you know how to have it. So have you ever eaten pot?
In an edible? Yeah. Yeah.
What did you eat?
A brownie.
A brownie.
That,
Yeah.
that we made.
Okay. So you know.
Well, I didn't make. Actually, my son and the Mexican made it.
Who's the Mexican?
You know,
No, I
the
don't
man,
know.
the one who does my lawn.
So that's really
It's
true.
your boyfriend, right? The one who does my.
For now, he's my boyfriend.
Now he's your
Right.
boyfriend.
He's on probation.
Okay, so you're living in sin.
Yes.
You're living in sin. Boston, you're married, right?
Yeah.
You're married. And Suzanne, what are you?
Well, I'm married, but I haven't lived with my husband for 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd you get that deal?
It's a
That
nice
seems-
deal.
That seems-
It's a nice deal.
Is
I
he,
like
is
it.
he in the state of Minnesota? Do
Yeah.
you have to go visit?
Yeah, he's 8 miles away. We see each other on Sunday instead of church.
That sounds like the perfect marriage.
It
to
sounds
me.
like a custody arrangement.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just.
It's a good thing. It's a really good thing.
I mean, if you're talking about marriage, I mean, like marriage
Yeah.
isn't that great, but like,
Yeah.
if you're
I'm
gonna
happy.
be married,
he's happy.
I married an audience member. What can I tell you? I'm
you
just
really?
a
Did
slut.
You married
Oh
an
yeah,
audience
he
member?
yeah. My husband came to see someone else, a headliner. I won't mention a name, Liz Winstead. And anyways, she
is she funny?
She was very funny that night. She killed me laughing because she told me after the show. She says, "Hey, there's this guy I want you to meet. He wants to meet you, and he's drunk, and you don't have to meet him. But I went to school with him. We were in science class together." And I said, "Well, I'm fascinated, Liz, because you're the famous one, and I'm just this rookie, you know." So I met him, and I said, "Okay, well, you're drunk. If you can remember me, you know, maybe we'll go out." So he gives me his deposit slip because, you know, back in the old days, there's no.
Back in the old days, people carried checkbooks with them.
Yeah, it was weird. He had a checkbook.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I remember
just
that.
I just carried cash because I was waitressing on the side, you know, because comedy was lucrative. Anyways, that's how I met my husband, and the next day he sent me red roses, and that was really sweet. And he said, "We'll go out in a week. I'll call you. Love, Scott." And then this other guy got jealous. He sent me roses, and then I got another bunch of roses. I thought I was never going to see him. I thought I was going to a funeral. And then we were both drinking at the time, and I said, "Well, I got to get sober and dump 4 guys. I'll call you in about 6 months." And I called him in 6 months, and we've been together ever since. So,
oh my
thank
god!
you. It's just so good. It's a little. I knew I needed
That's a
rehab,
tearjerker.
so yeah. It's cute. He'd probably like to be a guest on the show if Colleen's going to make more cupcakes. I just wanted to tell you. I
Definitely
am
gonna make
all
more
over the road here, huh? But anyways, that's, you know, but I was a fossil when I got married. That's how we figure it worked. Plus, he's young. Rob the cradle women. That's the only way to go.
How much younger is he?
Grant, remember, older women.
I should say here,
Anyways.
Grant, we have a guy operating our board, so there is.
Oh, I'm
there
so
is a-
sorry. I
No,
involved
there's a
him
man in
now,
the room.
you know.
Actually, he looks a little bit like Bradley Cooper girls, don't you think?
Yeah, he
Did you
does.
see the Bradley
Yeah.
Cooper?
I don't know.
I think
Let me take
better
another
looking.
swig of my Coors Light first.
Yeah, he's kind of
Please,
hot.
drink up,
And
Karen
he said,
J.
I came into the room and he said, "Whatever you need, I'll do." So he's Grant the handyman. And,
Handyman.
the
This is what I get for showing up late. Mm-hmm. I missed all the, you know, the fun stuff.
you
Yeah, he's pretty attractive.
Okay.
All right, so this is the Neighbor Ladies. When we come back, we're going to talk about how neighbors are important to your health. You're listening to the Neighbor Ladies.
And your neighbor lady, Boston.
Yeah, I married a Lutheran, and I'm a Jewish Methodist Bostonian, so I'm kind of stuck here. But I love you guys.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you Minnesotans, you neighbors.
And your neighbor lady, Karen J.
Well, I'm Asian, but I have put on some weight lately. So believe it or not, some people actually guess Mexican.
And your neighbor lady, Colleen.
Hi. I still haven't figured out what I'm doing here yet. We'll figure it out in a little bit.
And your neighbor lady, Susan.
No,
It's Suzanne.
Suzanne.
there you go. Yeah, you're still cute. I'm on antibiotics.
Is there an
a reason?
STD involved
I
with
just-
this?
It's kind of a personal question, Karen.
Oh,
Boston.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
sorry about that. Yeah, see, look at what you started.
We're still getting to know each other.
It's okay.
It's all right. So, okay, welcome back. You're listening to the Neighbor Ladies new podcast here in the Twin Cities. We've got Boston, Karen J, Suzanne, and me, Colleen Cruz. And our topic right now is neighbors. Good neighbors can actually increase your health and well-being. A new survey shows how few people feel closely connected with their neighbors and how that's affecting their health. Suburbanites, as compared to urban and rural dwellers, are most certain of their access to community resources. They also care least about their neighbors. Is that true? Now, there's like Boston, you live in the suburbs, right?
I live in the suburbs. I have so many neighbors, and the truth of the matter is that in the winter we only see each other at the mailboxes. But because of social media, we are connected by Facebook, and we kind of have boundaries. I mean, we don't get too involved in each other's lives, but we know what's going on.
All right, and you're inner city. I'm inner city.
I used to live in Edina, though.
Okay, so you've had the both experiences,
Yep.
Edina and inner city. Where do you live?
Well, I'm in the suburbs now.
Really?
Yeah, I'm in New Brighton.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's Tony.
yeah.
That's
Like a
chic.
perm.
That's
yeah,
chic.
it is. Yeah, it's. I don't know my neighbors.
You don't know your neighbors at all, but have you been there at all?
Yeah, I've been there since 20 years. I mean, I sort of know them. I don't know their last names. Let's put it that way. And I get Kathy and Craig confused every now and then because they look alike.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in this article that we have here from the Atlantic, it states that obviously having connections with your neighbors will increase your health and well-being. But I think increasingly we are disconnected, right?
I agree.
We
Yeah,
are.
definitely.
Ever since the
definitely.
advent of the garage door opener.
And the fact, we
Ah.
don't. What keeps us? I mean, in the old days, everybody had a big front porch.
Right.
You hung out on it. I don't know if you guys remember the front porch, but people hung out in the front. They all hang out in the backyard.
And in the old days, you didn't have to lock your doors at night.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Well, in Boston, we always locked our doors, but that's a whole other story.
Okay.
We had
always
the
locked
mafia.
I'm from the east side of St. Paul. Hold your
Okay.
applause. And we always locked our doors too. But we hung out. We definitely, when I was a kid, we hung out in the alleyways, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was
Yeah,
like
we did
where
that too.
that was
Yeah.
the alleyway is where all the kids
Yeah.
congregated. We played. That's where we played ditch. That's where we played kick the can. That's where we played. We didn't play stickball. We played kickball.
Yeah.
We try to find a dead end where we could really kick the ball. Now I don't really see it, and I'm in South Minneapolis, kind of in Uptown, and the kids there are either from young parents, so they're having play dates at the park. There's nobody tearing through the neighborhood screaming, right?
Yeah.
Like there used to be. And but I live in a duplex, so I know my neighbors upstairs, obviously, because I rent from them. But I don't know anybody on either side, and that kind of bums me out. It's been a while. Like when I was married, I knew my neighbors a little bit, but not. I never got to. I kind of feel bad. I never got to have that relationship where you have dinner. I only had that relationship with one family, with one couple, where we had dinner on Sundays. Sometimes, every once in a while, we go shopping together. But I definitely felt good about that. I felt like there was somebody who had my back, right? Like we were pack animals.
Yeah.
Don't
you think though that when your kids were little, you knew your neighbors a little bit more?
Yeah, I did.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
knew
think
mine.
I did because for a long time I was a single parent. So we would do swaps of childcare, you know, and you just sort of got to know the other single women in the neighborhood, and
So it's a necessity thing.
well, I think it was a necessity thing, but it was also a real trust thing. I think we really trusted each other.
Well, you're
We
gonna have to if
trusted
you're
each
gonna let somebody
other.
take care of your kids.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that's so
Exactly.
important. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to chime in. I joke about going to the mailbox and seeing the neighbors
Yeah.
every once in a while. We're actually pretty tight in our little hood. We have we call ourselves the transplants. On the corner, we have my friend from Thailand, and she's married to a guy from St. Louis Park, so she can't leave here either because she's married to a native. And then on the other side of me, Bob from Fairhaven, Massachusetts, he's married to Sarah, and she's a native, so she can't, they can't leave. And that we all have kids about the same age, and I think
Yeah.
that's why we're tight. And we've been there
Right.
15 years, so we're like old timers in the hood, And then down the street, there's everybody else from the bus stop. So we've gotten to know these guys, and we're pretty tight. But the funny thing is we're all transplants, and I think that's why we stay together, because we're not passive aggressive, which is we could have 2 hours just on that.
You're
But-
saying you're East Coast transplant.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And
And you're
we're
saying
all-
that we're the
you
natives
guys,
are passive
some of the
aggressive?
natives are a little passive aggressive.
Oh, they definitely are,
and
for
it's
sure.
and it's and we're tight over there. I don't know. I'll just give you an example of where we formed a union. Okay, for 72 hours, I don't care if you shoot off fireworks on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, but on the morning of the 6th, I say take a rest, and I don't call the police. I just go out in my backyard with my Nerf gun, and I just start, shooting at the kids, going, "Hey, man, I'm going to call the police next." And I'm not alone when I go. There are other neighbors, so it's a little exciting. But
You're not really kidding
know-
when you say Nerf gun. You really shoot the kids with a Nerf gun, don't
Oh
you?
yeah, I mean it's sponge. It gets the point across because kids don't listen to you. You just want to, they
You gotta get
just
their attention.
Sure, and when they're shooting bottle rockets right at your patio window for the 3rd year in a row, you need to take action. There is no such thing as
Nerf
passive
guns
aggressive.
can be very dangerous, however.
Oh,
What's that?
I got shot in the eye with a Nerf gun by my youngest son, and I had to get steroids.
Really?
oh my God.
Yeah, not antibiotics, steroids.
Eye pain is the worst.
You had to
Oh,
get
yeah.
steroids
Awful.
because you were shot in the eye with a Nerf gun?
Yes.
How does that
Steroid
even-
drops. They were all milky.
I aim for the
Yeah.
kneecaps. I didn't go for the
I go
eyeball.
right
for
for the
you.
crotch.
It's very Tony
That was
Soprano
thoughtful.
of you.
Yeah, it was. I thought a lot about it.
Well, this is interesting. So, have you ever? Okay, so you're talking about neighborhood politics
Oh yeah.
in the
Yeah.
relationships that you have with your neighbors. Do you have any? Do you have anything like that? Do you know your neighbors at all, Karen?
I do.
Yeah.
And before I moved to Ribbitville, Frogtown, I lived in Midway, which is right next door.
Uh-huh.
And I had the best neighbors I've ever had. Like
What
we
made 'em so
all
great?
we all knew each other. Like the day I moved into the neighborhood, okay, I was the only non-white person, so they all came over one by one, introduced themselves, tried to like give me suggestions, like the best, Asian food restaurants. I'm not kidding. That's they wanted to know how I got my money, and I'm serious. And what was
How
my
you got your money?
yeah, and how I made how did I make money, or
Right.
how did I get my money? How do I pay my bills? And then they wanted to know where I stood politically, because they're very liberal, which is good. I mean, I am too. But they didn't believe me because I came in from Edina, so they assumed I was Republican. I'm like, hello, I'm not white.
No, that would be Apple Valley, Minnesota. But
Right.
we don't have time for
We love
politics.
people in Apple Valley.
We do love Apple
We
Valley.
love
It's
Apple
pretty-
Valley.
It's a great
But
time.
we would get together all the time and have like bonfires and stuff like that, or dinner parties, and it was great.
And how long did you live in there? Are you still friends with them?
I am.
Yeah.
Would you
I mean,
rate
it's
your
cool.
quality of life as higher?
Oh,
having
for
no-
sure. Because
having none of your
the
neighbors?
house I was renting was crap, but the neighbors were just made it great.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
makes
and the
a
only reason
huge
the only
difference.
reason I left was because the owner came back from like, she was like, I don't know, Bahamas or something. She decided to come back, and
Yeah, because why would you want to leave this?
well, she got fired from her job or
Oh.
something. Yeah, I know.
I understand.
But
Well-
no, and then and now I live in Frogtown, which is a little more sketchy. But it's they're doing the whole gentrification thing, and so my next door neighbors are Hmong. Mm-hmm. They're the first Hmong people I've ever actually gotten to know, because I used to kind of make fun of Hmongs, just in my act and stuff,
Yeah.
because they're kind of whatever, they're just different. But but
What are
now
you talking about?
I don't know. But now they're like,
Do you feel now you're what are you Korean?
I'm
What are you-
Korean.
You're Korean, and so like they're just different. Like
Well,
what
like,
do you mean? Like they're just different.
you know how like
like that's like me saying, okay, well, I don't like Finnish people because they're just different. You know,
well, okay. The thing for me was
I'm Irish, German.
I was
by the way.
a Korean adoptee. So like
Okay.
whenever when I was in college at the U, I'd walk past the Asian American Student Center and they'd all look at me like,
Why
you're
aren't
not
you
like
here?
us, okay? Because they were like, fobs or whatever.
What's
fresh
fob?
off the boat.
Oh, okay.
So they could tell I was different. They like, you're white. You're
How would they
whitewashed."
know? How would they know?
Because I didn't look like them. And I didn't talk like them,
Wow.
you know?
Oh, because you don't have the
Like-
you don't have the accent.
Well, that, and I
Right.
think that you can just tell because if you've been around, like yeah, like when I met them and then I started partying with them because Hmongs love to party a lot. Like, and it's in their culture. If they offer you liquor, you can't say no. It's
Really
disrespectful.
I can't go over there then.
Yeah,
I know.
me either. Yeah.
Okay,
No,
you
seriously, they get-
yeah. We remember, if we have some Hmong guests, you got to take care of that for us.
all right, fine. And then
You have to drink all of the
they,
alcohol.
so they, the younger ones, the ones that were like, in their early 20s or late teens or whatever, they were like hanging out with me, and they were like, I know my mom said you're adopted, but like you actually seem pretty cool. Most of them are really standoffish towards their kind, is what
Yeah.
they said. Because
That
they were
must
like,
be
but you're not
bizarre.
they're like, you're not a real Asian, but you're pretty cool because you're open minded.
The only time I ever had any experience like that, I did a Canadian comedy special, and it was in Clarksdale, Mississippi, and this is in 1993, which
Yeah.
is now Morgan Freeman has Clarksdale, Mississippi is where the crossroads are, where the mythology is that's where Robert Johnson sold his soul right to the devil to become the greatest bluesman. So the idea was. And it was for the Canadian Broadcast Network. The idea, and it was Rich Hall. Do you guys remember Rich Hall from Fridays? And he also did not necessarily HBO's Not Necessarily
Oh,
the
right,
News.
right,
Yep.
yep.
Okay, so it was
Coming back.
his comedy special, and the idea was he would pick comedians and he would put them as a fish out of water, right? So this is why I was in Clarksdale. I found myself in Clarksdale, Mississippi, because blonde hair, blue eyed. I'm pretty white. I'm as white as you get, right? And he put me into this blues community,
Okay.
and I sang in a band, which I'm not really a singer. I sang in a band, and I became a blues woman, right? And it's ridiculous in 1 week. So I got to spend a week in Clarksdale, Mississippi, and I was quite literally, I believe, at the time, the only white woman in Clarksdale, Mississippi. And so for 5 days, I had this experience of being different.
So you
and
were the minority.
I was,
Yeah,
but
that's-
like different, and
Yeah.
and to an extent that I thought, okay, this is only a glimpse of what it's like.
yeah.
This is not even. I mean, this 5 days. Can you imagine a year? Can you imagine 2 years? Can you imagine people being automatically suspicious of you? People weren't automatically suspicious of me because here's the whiteness that I don't know about, or here's my
White privilege.
my white privilege, right? And I was thinking about that. I thought, gee, all of these ideas crashing around my brain all at once. People would look at me like kids would stop talking on the street and stare at me as though I should have been wearing a spacesuit, like, hello, kids, like I was somebody from another planet, right? And I don't know, it's because they haven't seen a white person live. Seriously, like
Yeah.
it was that. I mean, we had a black camera crew too. It was just me. So I thought, this is amazing. This is, first of all, I will forever be grateful for that experience, because it let me know that that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When somebody tells me, this is what this is like for me, I always try to filter it through that experience, right? Because as a white person, you won't know. and that's the best you can hope for, is that you won't know, right? I don't know what it would be like to be not fresh off the boat,
Right.
right, and to have physical similarities, but not, like, how would they note your differences, right?
I know. It's
And-
crazy. But then we do know. I
Uh-huh.
do too.
Yeah.
But but I'm okay with it. I mean,
Well, of course.
You know.
I mean, this is the idea of America, right? This is the melting pot. This is what we should be doing. We should be having conversations about this, and we should be intermeshing and figuring out friendships and relationships and how our cultures combine. You know what a good way to do that is? Hosting a potluck.
yeah.
Yeah, I have this list of how to organize.
How to break down the barriers in
how to
your
break
own
down
neighborhood.
How to break down.
What do you like to bring to a potluck?
What do I like to bring to a potluck? I try to be the chip person.
The chip person.
You don't
but it's
want to
always
be the
taken.
Jello person?
For some reason, I thought brownies.
Yeah.
Brownies, man. Now that would be the great equalizer, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That would be like, well, because I'm thinking they wouldn't be normal brownies.
That's right.
You don't have to eat them, but you can still bake them.
I can't even tell you how many times I got hammered at different neighborhood functions because I was just automatically uncomfortable in front of everybody. So I
Really?
thought, I'm just going to make this. Yeah, I'm socially awkward. So, I mean, I try
Like,
not to.
isn't the
I
Right.
don't think. Well, you hide it well.
There's.
You're still socially awkward now.
Yeah. I am very socially awkward, and I freak out if
Then
there's
I
too
must
mu-
be too, but I just don't know.
There's
it.
too much socializing going on, and I used to drink, and I would drink to mask it to become more outgoing and more
Yeah.
social, and then I would overshare. And
Oh, I
but
do that.
oversharing is a bonus in radio and in comedy.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you find these things where you can overshare.
Oh yeah,
But
that's
yeah.
why we feel normal, huh?
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an area we can overshare, and everybody just expects it. You know, I think the term for those of us that have social awkwardness, what is it now? The big term doctors use is general anxiety disorder. GAD. We have GAD.
Generalized anxiety disorder.
General anxiety disorder. Those of us that are socially awkward. That's what they.
They should just call them comics.
I know they really
Superstars.
should. Yeah.
Right.
The superstars. All right. This is a good talk. Are you thinking it's a good talk?
I think it's a good time.
Yeah,
Good
I
talk.
think it's a good talk. I'm
Let's
getting
wrap
some
it up.
ideas.
Okay, when we come back, we're going to do our new because everything's a new segment, right? When we come back, we're going to talk about we're going to do our lady business segment. You're listening to the Neighbor Ladies.
Meet Your Neighbor Lady Boston.
Oh, okay. My favorite food is lobster.
Really? They're scary.
They are, but you kill them first. Didn't you see that Woody Allen movie?
Annie Hall.
That's right. That's where I learned to cook.
Meet Your Neighbor Lady Karen J.
Well, I guess if we're talking about favorite foods, I would have to say mine is steak. I like the meat, kind of raw. Also, I love chocolate-covered strawberries, and depending on the day, maybe a good hard cucumber.
that's I like it. A good hard cucumber. You know,
Fruits and vegetables.
yeah.
Meet Your Neighbor Lady Colleen.
Going on that cucumber thing, if I had to masturbate with a vegetable, I think a zucchini would be nice. I'm
Yeah.
not saying I've done it. I'm just saying it's an option.
Pesticide alert.
Organic. only.
Organic.
Meet Your Neighbor Lady Suzanne.
I like color coordinated food. If I'm going to have corn, I want to have some color that's going to complement that yellow.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Neighbor Ladies. It's our new podcast. Boston, Karen J, Suzanne, and me, Colleen. Speaking of food, really quick, we're going to go on to our next topic here. But speaking of food here, you were saying that Suzanne, you were saying that you like color coordinated food, and earlier in the hour you were talking about your child who was trying to pray and who said, "Thank you for the cottage cheese and thank you for the potato bread." And I thought, those are both the same color. That's the first thing I thought.
And
I
then thank you for my penis. What comes out of the penis that's also the same color? Oh my God.
Well, I hadn't gone there yet, but Karen J, thanks for taking me there.
I think we figured it out. Karen's going to take us to places that we probably should go every once in a while.
I was thinking of chocolate eclairs, but
I
you
like
know.
it.
That's my favorite.
I love those,
I forgot
man.
about saying that.
Oh, chocolate eclairs. Do you guys know who Caitlin Stacy is?
Yes.
You do? Who is she? I have no idea who she is.
Oh, wait. Isn't she the one that we read the article about?
We did read the article about her. She's some kind of actress, and she's on a CW show. I don't even know who she is. And also, my link's not working.
So what's going on
She's
with
a
this
feminist.
chick? She's a feminist.
Well, okay. Does anybody have the link? I'm trying to get this link up. But she's an actress on a CW show, and she was going to be posing. She was going to have a magazine article, right? Let's say this
Right,
over.
right.
Caitlin Stacy is an actress on a CW show,
Right.
and she was going to be the subject of an article, and she was going to get a cover on this magazine. I can't even, because I don't have the article. I can't.
I'm trying to
I
get
can't
back
pull
to
it up.
it. And,
So now.
I got to get back.
So now. Oh, this is the same thing I have. Thank you,
Oh,
Karen
okay.
J. So here's the thing. They pulled. Oh, here it is.
Oh.
Very nice. Thank you, Suzanne.
Yeah.
We're very, very professional here. Okay, so she's been on some show called Neighbors. She's been on some show called Rain. I don't even know. Here's the problem with me in pop culture. I have no idea who anybody is anymore. I don't have network television, and I kind of don't give a shit. I like what I like, and I don't want to watch the Kardashians, and I don't want to watch the Real Housewives. But I come across articles about people that seem vaguely interesting to me. And what
Yeah.
I liked about this article about this woman is she says, so I was going to get this magazine cover, and then they pulled it because
Right.
she wouldn't pose nude for
Right.
the cover, right?
And because on her website she is nude, but it's more of an artistic nude, and they wanted her to be more provocative, sexy.
She's
nude.
nude on
they
her
lied
website.
about it.
Yes.
And they lied about it.
Yeah.
Caitlin Stacy added that she was under the impression that the feature was a story about me and about my work and about my worldview, and that she would not allow this magazine or its editors to proceed with designing my message and using my body as a prop to incite interest and circulation. Dun, dun, dun.
Right. So they
Right.
wanted to take her, what she does on her website, and basically sexualize it to get more.
I see. Okay, and it's some magazine called Good Weekend Magazine, right?
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound like a particularly sexy magazine.
Right.
I don't know, even though a nice weekend might include sex. Good Weekend Magazine.
Yeah, it's more like I think the website was more like, here's these women who are just free and they're happy with their bodies and they're not like terribly sexy, except for maybe her. But like all the other women are just like average women, you know?
Okay, that's her website. That's her
Yeah.
idea of being. So she's posed nude before,
Yes,
and she just didn't want them to use it.
But on her terms.
but on her terms,
Okay,
meaning
right.
like, hi, I'm free with my body. You know what I mean? Like she's real feminist.
I like that she called the
is.
guy on it.
She did call the guy on it. And she said that while no woman should ever have to justify her desire to stay clothed, it's imperative that we recognize the distinction between empowerment and objectification. And I think that was her main point.
Right.
If she chooses to do that, it's one thing. But for somebody to make the assumption that that's what she was going to do, because that's what she's done on her own free will, was what really, gave her a bad taste in her mouth.
We have to be careful using those terms. Gave her a bit. I don't know.
We do?
We don't have to be careful using any terms.
Oh.
I don't know. Like I was just. That's what she said. Bad taste in your mouth. I know. I
Okay,
can't help it.
let's just go back to the name of the magazine that was going to put the nude photo on.
Good Weekend,
Good Weekend.
right?
Yeah, I just wow, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It just
Because it sounds like the
Good Weekend. They
Like
could be
Good
barbecuing.
Housekeeping or
they
something.
They could be having, an article about croquet.
I'm guessing
she
she wasn't going to be nude. I mean, think of women who have been nude on magazine covers before. Demi Moore comes to mind just because for a while there, she was doing one every year, right? For Vanity Fair.
Oh,
She
at
did the
least,
pregnant
yeah.
one, and then she did the one the year after where she was body painted in the suit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she did another one after that. And then when they do the actresses, when Vanity Fair does a lot of nude covers, don't they? Because didn't they do, I know that Seth Rogen and James Franco did a goof on it where it was the young actresses and then they did the young actors where their naughty bits are artfully
Yes,
hidden,
yes.
but their fat wasn't, which was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But then when you think about it, okay, so I was just reading this article today. Monica Bellucci, I think that's how you say her name. I'm not sure. She was in this great movie, Shoot 'Em Up. Whatever. She's going to be the new Bond lady, right? The new Bond girl. She's 50 years old. She's 3 years older than Daniel Craig, which is,
Wow.
I know, awesome.
That
right?
is awesome.
It's totally awesome. And she's hot. She's super duper hot. So that is still a requirement of being a Bond woman, which is fine because
Yeah.
being fit and hot is a requirement of being a Bond.
And she's wicked old compared with a lot of.
well,
in
Hollywood,
yeah, by Hollywood terms, man, she's a fossil. You go,
Right,
baby, you
right.
go.
Is it the Meryl Streep when she turned 40 got offered 3 witch roles
Yeah,
in the same year, like 3. You can play
witches
a
with
witch.
clothes on. And,
Yeah.
that was
right.
Right, but now I mean she's done 3 romantic comedies in the last 4 years. She's done 3 romantic comedies. She's going to play a rock star in her upcoming movie that's penned by Minneapolitan transplant Diablo Cody. But when I was thinking about this Monica Bellucci thing, right, in relation to this Caitlin, what's her face? I don't even know what her name is. The woman that wouldn't pose nude on the magazine that we're talking about.
Caitlin Stacy.
Caitlin Stacy. Women only have a certain amount of time to make money in Hollywood, right? You peak. Somebody did this study. You peak at 34 years old. Seriously, in Hollywood, that's your peak earning time when you're 34, and after that, it starts to decline. If you're an actress, and when you think about that, okay, do you use it if you got it? Question mark. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying she should have done it because I don't think she should have done it. I don't think anybody should spring a nude cover on you, right? But I think it happens more often than it doesn't, and I think that perhaps the people in charge, like this guy that sprung the nude cover on her, could be thinking, well, I might have her where I want her because she knows she has to maximize her exposure, so to speak.
How old
before-
is she? Does it say?
She couldn't be more than 35. I mean, I wouldn't
I don't think
she
so.
doesn't. She doesn't look
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
than
Late
35.
20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Do you see what I mean? But
Yeah.
if you're thinking about that, if you're somebody in your late 20s and this is your business and you know that you know that statistic and you think, okay, well, it would be a hard thing to turn down.
Yeah.
Somebody said to me the other day, "Oh, I hope Amy Schumer, comedian Amy Schumer, doesn't get overexposed like Will Ferrell did." Right? Because Will Ferrell, for a while there, was doing everything that was offered to him.
I thought he
Yeah.
was Christmas for a while there, the elf. I really did. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
hated that movie.
Well, but he said yes to everything, and then I
Yeah.
was thinking, you know what? If I was Amy Schumer, I'd say yes to everything too, because you never know when it's going to end.
But
True.
let's look at when women, 34 is the age. I think guys have an extended period.
They do. They have 17 years more.
Yeah.
They get to go. So I mean,
I think it's when women look 34, though. Right?
Yeah.
I guess
Well,
so.
yeah.
I don't know. Monica Bellucci doesn't look like she's 34. She looks hot, but she definitely looks
Yeah.
older than 40,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
So,
got
but
a
I
little
but I
bit
do
of
think that
baggage. She
I do
could
think
look
it's what you
14,
can pull
you
off
know.
what you look. If you
No,
look
just-
younger than your age, then I think that counts.
So are you guys all for a woman using her sexuality to get ahead while she can?
If she wants to.
Only
No,
if
but
she wants
I'm
to.
having this thought, and I'm segueing back to something. Well, I'm not really segueing. I'm interrupting you guys, and I just had this really cool thought that if 34 is the age, and then you're dead in Hollywood for women, then that means the Kardashians are almost through. I mean, it'll just be Kanye. It won't be Kim. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The world is a
I
beautiful
feel like
place
it's-
in my land.
I feel like
It
it's
really
starting to
is.
change.
He's got to go too, though.
Well, I just think he'll just go because he just has no filter.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Anyways, you had a very serious political question, and I went to like the Kardashians.
No, that's all right.
So-
What were you saying?
I feel like it's starting to change, though. Like, the standards for women in Hollywood are changing. And I say that because look at Melissa McCarthy. Look
Yeah.
at Fat Amy. Look at,
it's hopeful.
You know what I mean?
It's hopeful.
Look at a lot of older actresses are really actually getting work. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think it's good news.
I think it's okay. Whatever they want to do is okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see what happens in the next 6 months because to a year, because you've got a lot of women out there that are over 40 with some pretty big movies coming out. It'll be interesting to see if they, let's see what this movie does Friday with Meryl Streep. Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't go see Trainwreck. I felt like a failure to the comedy community because I didn't go out and support
I saw
but you did.
Yeah, I did.
How
It was
did you
awesome.
feel? It was awesome. Okay,
It was awesome. Somebody in the City Pages, I should quote them. Whoever did the movie review for the City Pages had a good point, and she said, "Well, I didn't like it because, at the end, she ends up with the guy, and so it's not really a feminist movie because she ends up with the guy, and it shouldn't be that okay, I need to end up with the guy for my life to be great. It should just be I'm fine with me. But then it wouldn't be a romantic comedy. I mean, there are plenty of male character-dominated movies where they end up with the girl and everything is great. Do you see what I
Right.
mean?
No, I
mean
know what
it's
you're
a
saying,
romantic
yeah.
comedy. Of course, the happy couple is going to end up together. So that was a moot point as far as I was concerned. But the rest of it, all of the jokes, fantastic. The sexuality in it, very realistic, very fantastic. They have a great conversation about. They're having an argument. It's Amy Schumer, Bill Hader in the movie Trainwreck. They're having an argument. Their characters are having an argument, and she's talking about him going down on her, right? And she said, "No, I didn't like the way you go down on me." He said, "What do you don't want me to go down on you?" And she said, "No, I think you're doing it to earn points." And they were having this great argument conversation about him going down on her, and I thought, I was laughing, and I thought, why am I laughing so hard? And I thought, because I never hear this in a movie. You never, ever
Right.
hear.
Right, they
about-
stop at a certain point,
They
and we
sure
never
do.
get to the
What's
stuff that
wrong
we're
with a
talking
guy
about.
going down on a woman?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right.
Yeah,
Not as far as I'm concerned. In fact, you have to. You have to. If you
To be a real man.
you do.
Oh, yeah. I don't fuck with anyone who doesn't go down there.
That's right.
No, I'm serious.
They need to go downtown.
Yeah.
worship the whole body. I say.
Otherwise,
Both
no.
parties.
Have you ever dated a guy that wouldn't?
Yes.
Yes, me
Not for
too.
too
for
long.
2 years. What was wrong with me?
Hell no.
Oh my God!
Jeez
Yeah.
Louise.
He pretended
Colleen.
that he liked it for maybe 6 weeks, and then he stopped.
Yeah. What's up with that?
But
Yeah.
then he still wanted me to visit downtown,
Right.
and I said no.
No
So
way.
Then I
No
didn't,
way.
And then he
Right.
didn't. And what the hell were we both doing?
Right.
Did
It
you
was
go
only
to
a matter of
rehab
time.
after that? My God,
No.
girl, would have
I-
put you right to the edge.
Eventually, it took me a while to break up with him, but I broke up with
Yeah,
him.
but you only did 2 years. I did 6.
What?
Oh my
6
gosh.
years.
Did
Yeah.
Did you take a girlfriend at least?
You know, and then his favorite thing to say was, well,
What? Say it.
Are you scared to say it?
Yeah.
Oh
It's a
my God,
podcast.
you chicken.
Suck my cock, suck my cock. And it was like, Jesus Christ. You know, I mean, it's like, how many times?
That is
And-
sweet talk.
Yeah.
If you got to talk about it,
Romantic.
if you got to give the action, we ain't got the rest going. You know what
What's
I'm
the
saying?
weirdest thing anybody ever said to you in bed?
Oh. Do we
Change
really want to go there?
I don't
Change
know.
the channel. I think that's the weirdest thing. Honey, I'll talk to you later. I'm going to the gym. You just told me to change it. And I got up and went to Lifetime. I was so mad. Where's Mom? Where's Mom? She's going out in the car at 4 a.m., Daddy. What did you say to her? True story, I end my case. You girls are bringing out the memories, I got to tell you. I'm about to go bronchial. Excuse me.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about the problem of the day. You're listening to The Neighbor Ladies.
Meet Your Neighbor Lady Boston.
What do I do for a day job? What do I do for work and money? I used to do school lunch, and now I write a few jokes and sell a few shoes.
You're a shoe sales lady.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah, I guess that's what I do.
Okay, I like it.
I'm an expert in customer service. But enough about me, please.
So that's how you can smile and say "fuck you" at the same time. I mean, but not literally.
No, I really like to take care of the customer.
Okay, all right.
But we'll talk about that later.
Okay,
It's not filthy.
all right. We won't.
Meet your neighbor lady, Karen J.
Let's see, what do I do for work? Well, the state of Minnesota pays me to stay home during the day.
I like it.
It's true. Not that I'm crazy or anything, I'm not. But what else do I do? I do some acting, and I also tell jokes, usually for money.
Meet your neighbor lady, Colleen.
I'm a food service professional.
And meet your neighbor lady, Suzanne.
I memorize FERPA.
FERPA?
I do.
What's FERPA?
What's FERPA?
Yeah, tell us more.
Well, we have to follow certain guidelines and rules and codes of ethics when we work for the state of Minnesota. So it's just one of those little acronyms to keep you in line.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. There's so much I don't know.
I don't know either. I feel like I should know this.
FERPA. It sounds like FEMA. It sounds like any one of those acronyms that keep us all in line.
Sounds like lesbian slang.
Well, it sounds like something that flies out of my cat's mouth. I mean,
FERPA.
FERPA. FERPA.
FERPA.
I don't know.
FERPA.
But I know it's serious.
It's very serious.
Do you have a lot of college degrees for FERPA?
I have a few. Yeah.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Neighbor Ladies. We've got Boston, Karen J, Suzanne, and me, Colleen Cruz. And right now, we're going to talk about our problem of the day. Because I think we're all smart women here, don't you?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
totally.
took a while. Took
I
a
don't
while
know.
to weigh in on that.
We're radiating
Took a while to weigh in.
brainwaves.
But even though we may or may not be smart women, we are fully willing and capable. And nay, I will say, we want to weigh in on your problem. So you can send us a problem of the day if you wish. Message us privately at our Facebook page. If you can find us on Facebook, Neighbor Ladies, and you can give us a problem of the day, and we might weigh in on your problem. And I've got one. Are you ready?
Oh,
You ready
yeah.
for a problem?
Yeah,
of the
we're
day?
ready to solve it, girl.
Because we're going to solve this problem for our fellow neighbor lady, anonymous. She didn't want to sign it.
Okay.
And I'm reading it. No, it's not Suzanne. It's a real person that sent
Well,
me
she's-
this.
I know.
She's on antibiotics and she's working with FERPA, so we got to worry about it.
Dear neighbor ladies, my husband is watching a ton of internet porn. I admit, I like it too sometimes. But I have conflicting feelings about this because the women look nothing like me. They are perfect, and I am not airbrushed and ready to go 24/7. I know porn is a fantasy, but our sex life is real. I find myself getting angry with him and jealous of women who don't exist. What should I do?
Well,
It doesn't sound like her marriage is in danger. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? She doesn't say that she's like ready to leave. She just sounds like maybe depression could be setting in on this.
I think she's having an affair.
Really?
Yeah.
You think she is?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Do you
yeah,
really?
it's a big cover.
No.
Yeah.
Wow, I would
So-
not have thought that.
really?
There are
big
more
cover.
women that are having affairs than.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, because it's so much easier.
I
now.
see it in the hood.
Well, women are smarter at it too.
Yeah.
They are.
What do you mean by that?
We don't get caught. I mean, we meaning
Well, you open the garage
Neighbor
door.
ladies.
You open the garage door and you let his car go in during the day. I've seen it. I thought it was the cleaning lady with my neighbor.
no, I don't do
Okay,
that. Okay,
it's
but I'm
four.
saying,
It's
but
4 blocks away. Oh
Women
my
are just
God. Not like
smarter.
Yeah,
We
they
pay more
are,
attention
yeah.
to detail.
We got to weigh in on this problem.
Yeah, we gotta
we
help
have to.
her.
We
We
have
gotta
to weigh
help
in on
this
this problem.
poor
We have to,
woman, yeah.
Okay, so my husband's watching a ton of internet porn. I like it too sometimes. So that right there says they've used this because that would have been one of my things. We'll try to get in on the act. So it's clearly sounds like she's watched some of this with him
Yeah.
to try to sort of integrate it into their sex life. But she says, I have conflicting feelings about this because the women look nothing like me. They are perfect, and I am not airbrushed and ready to go 24/7. She knows porn is a fantasy, but her sex life is real. So she thinks, from what I'm gathering, is that she thinks that he's a little too far off into fantasy land, and he's not right there with her. And now, clearly, he must be there with her. Otherwise, they wouldn't have a sex life. Doesn't sound like that's the case. She says, I find myself getting angry with him and jealous of women that don't exist.
Okay.
So is this about managing her jealousy? Or is this about the porn being... It doesn't sound like she thinks porn is wrong, is what I'm saying.
No, I think she thinks porn is okay. I mean, if you've got somebody that's addicted to porn, that's doing, I don't know, what, 2-3 hours a day, maybe that's what her man is doing. But if they set limits on the porn, okay, we're going to watch 15 minutes apiece, meet you back in the sack. I mean, you got to have boundaries, man. That's what it's all about. And
you played a sport in high school, didn't you?
Damn right.
Yeah, that sounds
Varsity basketball.
Yeah,
as
that
a
sounds like
ninth
a
grader.
varsity basketball thing to do.
It really is. We gotta
15
set
minutes,
boundaries.
and then we're going to come back. You're out of bounds.
Seriously, think of this. How great would your life be if he's watching 2 hours of porn and you say to him, 2 hours of porn? That's how much you've got to put into the bedroom, baby. Think about it. Equal time, yeah. And if you are watching 2 hours of porn, the same thing. Spice it up, baby, Think about it.
Okay, all right.
I think
Because if
she's
you
bored
can't, it's
with
an
him.
investment, yeah.
I think she's bored with him. I think the whole thing's a cover.
What leads you to believe that?
Well, I think she's just saying that to get rid of him. Yeah.
Do you think she's just starting to work, to start the complaints so she can just get out?
Get out.
Is this why you think she's having an affair?
Yes.
I must just be so gullible with my neighbors. I'm going to be listening in the hood with a different
I
kind
don't
of ear.
get that at all.
I feel like it's her jealousy that she needs. It's her issue.
It's her
'Cause she's
issue. It's
jealous?
not him.
Well,
it's-
jealousy
I mean-
is the man-made feeling, right? I mean,
No.
to a degree.
We have control over our emotions.
Right, that's it, yeah.
Yeah,
Have you ever felt jealous before?
a long time ago.
Really? And then
Yeah.
it just stopped?
I don't know. Like, I think you get to a point when you're a woman that I don't know. You just get to a certain age where you're just comfortable with. Like, you realize you only have control of you. You don't have control over him or her or whoever you're with.
Right.
And that's about them. That's not about you. You have to take care of you, and you're responsible for your own happiness. She should probably talk to him about it instead of writing into the neighbor ladies. But
Well, obviously she wants to figure. She shared this with us, so we got to give some advice,
yeah,
right? I mean,
think she
so
should
she's
talk to
asking
him.
she's asking her girlfriends. You ask
Yeah.
your girlfriends, right? She finds herself getting angry with him and jealous of women who don't exist. So, what should she say if she's going to talk to him?
that he's a figment of her imagination.
I think she should talk to him
Yeah.
and definitely because a lot of times you talk to your girlfriends about a serious issue in your marriage or relationship and you spend a lot of time talking to him and then by the time you get back to the man to talk to him it's like, oh, it really wasn't that big a deal, but it did tick me off. And then the next time it happens you realize you never solved the problem, you never talked to him about it.
yeah.
So she should just talk to him, forget
Okay.
the girlfriends.
Well, what? Well, no, but
Well, I mean,
then
I'll
we-
forget him later, but
But she's talking to us now for
Okay.
the
Well,
purposes. She
okay.
put it in.
She should let him know that it bothers her.
Yeah.
Because it obviously does.
get
should
honest
she
about
say?
it. Yeah.
Like it sounds like her issue's not with porn; it's the fact that he's watching it without her.
All right. Yeah. Because clearly he's watching. She
But-
says he's watching a ton. We don't know how much that is.
And that can studies have shown that can affect him. Like men who watch a lot of porn,
they can't
like
get it
they
up
get
anymore.
desensitized or they can't ejaculate.
They can't do it unless they're watching a
right.
ton. Yeah.
So that could be a problem. And then but then all she can do is say something to him, and then it's up to him to either fix it or get out.
Yeah.
Right.
This is so much. Well, this is kind of a new thing too. I mean, a new thing meaning like in the last 15 years,
Yeah.
wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So we don't even know. We don't even know how over time how this is going to affect.
I mean, it definitely could become an addiction, and it does like change the chemicals in your brain.
Yeah, I did know that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can be a healthy thing when a couple agrees to watch it together and the type of porn they're watching together.
Uh-huh.
You know, they both have to be okay with it. And then, but like the part where like she's like, "Oh, I look nothing like them. They're perfect. Whatever." Like that's her issue. She needs to get over that,
Right.
Because like
he's
they're
with
not,
her.
They're not real. Like,
No. No, it would be like saying,
You know?
Fred Flintstone is real.
Or like, oh, I
Right.
hate that bitch on the Victoria's Secret magazine cover. Like she's not real.
Mm-hmm.
She's photoshopped. She's like airbrushed.
Right.
It's
You
not
know?
even her own. Yeah, it could be different people glued together on.
So yeah, I think they need to like have a serious talk, or maybe go to counseling, or if he isn't going to be, if he's not going to be receptive to what she says, then she needs to kick him the fuck out. Really.
Do you remember the first time? Do you remember the first time you ever, like the first time somebody ever put porn? I mean, and this is like back in VCR days, right? Like I remember I was in high school and we were going to go swimming. There was a guy that I was dating, and his uncle had a cool apartment that had a indoor pool, right?
Yeah.
And his uncle was going to be out of town for the weekend, and his uncle gave my boyfriend the keys to his apartment. And so we were having a party at this guy's uncle's apartment. And we were going to drink, and we were going to smoke pot, and we were going to smoke cigarettes, and probably we were going to go off into the bedrooms, right? And we were going to swim. And swimming is a great activity for horny teenagers because you get to be practically naked, right? And I remember showing up and I'd been dating this guy for a while, so I thought, oh, this is awesome. You know, tonight's the night. And I got to this party in Roseville, Minnesota, because that's where all sexy stuff happens, in
Right,
Roseville, Minnesota.
right.
I got to this party. I don't know why I looked at you when I said Roseville,
right near
Minnesota.
the mall,
Right near the mall. And I got
on
to
the
this
edge
party.
of the parking lot.
And there were none of the girls were there yet, and they had the VCR going. The boys had the VCR going, and they had a movie on, and it was an X-rated movie. And I thought, no, but it was like a group setting, right?
Yeah.
I mean, all of a sudden, fine if that's how guys. And I do think there's a weird thing where guys actually watch porn together and bond. What the hell? Where Grant, our handyman, is shaking his head, but they were clearly watching it.
So
They were
how many
clearly
guys
watching it
went
when
to see Magic Mike alone?
Well, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's not actual.
we wanted
penises
it. We
and
wanted it to be though.
insertion. Did you really?
Well, I was with my 70-year-old sister-in-law, but I really can't talk about it. She did. She told me this. Can you imagine this? She's 70 years old. It's her birthday, and she says, God, I just wanted them all naked, and I wanted to see the action. And our voices are not exactly quiet at the Marcus Theater in Rosemount. And
I love Marcus Theater.
isn't that great? It's just
Yeah.
so good. It was so worth it. Yeah. Anyways, I digress, but I felt it was important.
So, well, it is important. So, okay, I take it back because a lot of women they'll go see the
We'll go
Australian
see
dancers,
something. Yeah,
the Thunder
yeah.
Down Under, Chippendales,
We
Magic
did that
Mike.
for a bridal shower for my niece. I couldn't believe it. Well, we want you to drive. You're the sober one. We'll get you a free ticket to see the Thunder Down Under. And I didn't know what we were seeing. I really had no clue.
Koala
I
bears.
I knew it wasn't, furry. But anyways, so
No,
yeah,
not anymore. Everybody's waxed now.
That's
Yeah, it's all hardwood floors now.
Yeah, the tree looks taller when there's no brush around.
I
it.
was briefed. Anyways,
So you all
how
did.
was the Thunder
How
Down
was
Under?
that? How was that weird sexual?
flipping great. We went back to the second show too. It was awesome.
Wait, do you think they're as good as the Chippendales, or better, or not as good, or?
Since I'd never seen the I did see the Chippendales in Vegas with my mother and my sister. My sister got us tickets and said, we're going to have a family bonding moment.
So you have done this as a
Yeah.
bonding moment.
Yeah,
This is
yeah, we
like,
did.
Like all the women of the pack get together and they go watch a bunch of men sexualizing
Yeah, and
themselves.
but now it's a thing
never
with
done
bridal showers. It was, but
It's always been a thing with bridal showers.
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
apparently
yeah.
my bridal showers were very boring that I've gone to in the neighborhood. The ones where you run out with the apron and all the different things attached to it.
You play dice?
Dice.
Yeah. Did you ever
What's-
do that at bridal showers?
playing dice,
No, play
like
dice.
gambling.
Like
Like dominoes dice, or
trying to shoot
oh, I know what
Doubles.
you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I've played that.
for prizes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
the
For
games?
sure. For sure.
In the pie plate or whatever.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I would say though it was really a lot of fun to go see both all the guys. It was just a
So
blast.
they were all
It was
amazing,
all.
or-
Well, color me
I think-
surprised.
I
Out of
think-
everybody here, I didn't expect you would be the one that
Yeah.
did like sort of group porny.
Well, I don't
bonding.
organize it now, but I mean, if the event comes up,
There's like way more to Boston than meets the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
well, I'm wicked old man. I'm a fossil. What can I tell you? No, I'm just kidding.
Whatever.
All
Don't
right.
talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
yourself like that.
I think we figured it out. Okay, so what?
You're
She's gotta-
you're
she's gotta
helping me
talk
with my
to her husband.
self-esteem. I love it. Thank you. Okay, back to the
The problem. She's got to talk to her
problem.
husband. She's got to figure out some self-esteem for herself, right? And how can she do that? I don't know.
Get some
Everybody's-
therapy.
Get some. Well, I don't.
Get some antidepressants.
Get some photos airbrushed.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
true.
Yeah.
Get a
Oh,
go to
have
glamour
a
shots.
Glamour shots. Yeah.
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 No, seriously, she just needs to start
I
doing
wonder
stuff
if the
for her.
glamour shot people have ever been asked to do nudes. I bet they have.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, isn't it? There's probably some secret photographer that
No,
does.
there's photographers that only do like boudoir or whatever.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Boudoir.
boudoir.
Whatever. I always
Boudoir.
Okay.
Boudoir.
Boudoir.
It's a
Wait, how do
great
you say
one.
it?
Yeah.
Boudoir.
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 It's French for dirty in the bedroom.
Right. Boudoir. Boudoir.
That was my second major in college.
Yeah. So
200
there are
credits,
plenty of
180
photographers
French.
that do that.
Okay.
Sorry.
I think okay. So that's the answer to the problem of the day. Okay. When we come back, it's our food segment here on the Neighbor Ladies Casserole Corner.
Meet your neighbor lady, Boston.
Recreation. What's my favorite thing to do in my spare time? Play basketball naked. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't say that. Next.
Meet your
Dribble.
neighbor lady,
Dribble, dribble.
Karen J.
Well, in my spare time, I like to masturbate a lot.
What?
My therapist says it's really getting out of hand, and I need to think outside my box.
Meet your Karen. I'm sorry, that one
That's
was
okay,
good. That was a
Grant.
good one.
That was the best.
That was a good one. Meet your neighbor lady, Colleen.
In my spare time, I like to eat and watch TV at the same time.
Eat what?
Anything.
Meet your neighbor lady, Suzanne.
Oh, in my spare time, I like to eat and eat and eat.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Welcome back. You're listening to the Neighbor Ladies. And in your spare time, you like to eat and eat and eat and eat
Yes.
and eat. Are you a big
Yeah.
cook? You like to cook, Suzanne?
No. Well, I catered for 10 years, and when I catered, I cooked. And I'm tired of it. No, I just like to eat shit. Like my kids think I eat like a 7-year-old. My favorite food is really cotton candy. It's, yeah,
You eat cotton candy?
all the time.
Really?
All the time,
I
yeah.
wouldn't have guessed
The
that.
pre-made cotton candy?
Yeah,
The only
yeah.
way I can stomach cotton candy is if it's fresh off the whirly
Oh,
gig that they
right,
make it.
right.
I cannot have that pre-made cotton candy
Yeah,
because
Yeah, I don't like it either.
it's crazy. That is
Wow.
super sugary. That is,
Yeah.
I mean, it's all sugar.
I'd
That's
like
all-
to see
and you eat
Boston
it.
eat some cotton
And
candy.
I
Let
like
her-
to I like to lick
Buzzing.
it and watch it dissolve. Yeah,
I think that's your old addict talking.
I think it could be.
Oh yeah,
I think that
yeah.
is.
Don't
yeah.
tell
They
anybody.
say sugar
That's okay.
is like what?
It's a
heroin
drug.
or
It's a
something. It's
drug.
like as bad as like
Yeah.
heroin.
right.
Sugar is.
Very difficult to get rid of sugar, though.
Yeah.
Very difficult to get rid of sugar. So,
Impossible.
yeah, almost impossible. I know people who have done it, but they're humorless and wrong.
Right.
Casserole Corner. This is where we talk about food. And the topic that I chose, although we could talk about sugar, why is bacon on everything? Have you guys noticed that? Bacon cupcakes, bacon frosting, bacon. My girlfriend, Laura, is a wonderful cook. She's actually a chef, and she made her brother-in-law a cake, and it had big candied bacon strips. She sectioned off the cake, it was a 9-inch round cake, and it was chocolate with bacon bits on the side, and then a big slice of thick candied bacon on each. And chocolate and bacon actually does taste, and maple bacon tastes really good together. But I'm kind of done with the bacon.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
bacon
me
and
too.
everything. Bacon, mac and cheese, bacon this, bacon that. I'm done. I can't do. It's like mac and cheese. Everybody did the mac and cheese thing for a while, right? The food trend.
Oh yeah.
Everybody did mac and cheese.
50
and then,
ways to have mac and cheese.
right? Lobster mac and cheese, 4 cheese
seafood.
7 cheese mac and cheese, right? It's usually they cap out at 4. It's
Yeah.
never the 5 cheese mac and cheese. It's always the 4 cheese mac and cheese or the 3 cheese mac and cheese. And then it was mashed potatoes, right? Everything had to be mashed potatoes with this kind of sauce or that cheese sauce or whatever. And now it's bacon and cupcakes. Cupcakes was another one, right?
Yeah, cupcakes.
Cupcakes are kind of a fad too.
I love cupcakes.
Yeah.
I love cupcakes too because they're automatically portioned out
Yes.
and they're tiny and you can sort of trick yourself into thinking that I'm not eating
Yeah.
2 pieces of cake when you've really had 4 cupcakes and that's 2
that night
pieces
that
of
I
cake.
ate 3 of your homemade cupcakes.
I do like to make homemade cupcakes.
I
It's true.
like weighed myself the next day. I was 5 pounds heavier.
You were not.
Yes, I was.
No, you weren't.
Colleen, I was.
Have you ever had bacon?
But it was so
cupcakes?
worth it.
Yes, I've had bacon cupcakes.
Yeah, it just seems like what I don't know. There's just too much bacon. There's
Too much bacon.
On-
You know,
on
the
everything.
Washington
broccoli
Post
and
said-
cheese, bacon. You know.
Yeah, the Washington Post said that it's a $6.10 billion business.
Bacon?
Bacon.
The
But I
bacon
think
people must be really happy.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's a
there's-
marketing deal. People, you put bacon on something, they're going to buy it, and it's just gone nuts.
It's also
Yeah.
kind of like I think it's like the preferred food of potheads and men. Just you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't you think?
At the state fair, they
Stupid
have that
men.
big fat bacon booth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you just get a stick of bacon on a stick. Or a
Right.
slice of bacon on a stick.
Right.
So they
Big
seriously
stick.
deep fry the bacon. I got to pay more attention.
No,
to
it's
the,
not deep fried. It's just a big piece of bacon that's
On a
on a
stick.
skewer. So you
Yeah.
can sort of.
So they were
So you
over
can
at-
walk around and eat it like beef jerky.
So
Mm-hmm. yeah.
in the morning, at the state fair, they went over to the pig farm, the pig area.
Right. Yeah.
You know where I'm
Right.
going with this, old barbecuers. They got
Right.
the chefs. They killed those little piglets, and then later on, we're having it on a stick.
Well, I don't think that's the babies.
You know what I don't like to
Well,
see at the state
all
fair?
pigs are great.
Somebody with a giant bucket of Martha's cookies, Sweet Martha's cookies,
Yeah.
and one of those paper pig hats. You know, with the ears?
Yeah.
And they aren't
It
even-
drives me crazy.
They aren't
But
even
it's so
drunk
fitting.
yet, and
It's
they
so
look
fitting,
like
though.
that. That's what gets me. You know, it's. I don't know. And I'm not real happy about Martha's cookies. They aren't very good.
I don't think they're that great either.
I don't think they're that good.
Oh, can we say that? We can say that.
Are we
I don't
allowed to
think
say
they're good
that?
I
either.
really don't think they're that great.
They're not a sponsor.
We only hope they're better this year. We do. We
think-
hope that they're better because so many things could be better about them.
I know. I feel like the only people who really love Martha's cookies are people who don't know how to bake cookies themselves. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
That's why I
homemade
think
cookies,
guys like it.
Look,
homemade
I have
cookies are
I have
way
a
better
cooking
than
story for you that occurred this week. Well, you guys probably
Yeah.
know this, that I spent, let's see, my last day as a lunch lady was June 15th, 2015. Not that I'm counting the hours.
How long were you a lunch lady?
8 years. And 3 years, the last 3 years, managing 24 women. I tried to hire the men, but they died on the way to the line, I have to say. But I got to tell you, okay, so I'm making a chocolate cake this week. My stepmother's birthday, going to be a double layer. And I love to cook, and but I got these pans, these new pans, and I didn't know that if you didn't have X amount of batter in them, that they would burn the hell out of the cake. So the big double layer cake became a single layer. But I love chocolate, and I found out that so I'm burning the cake, and now on Monday night I got a call. My dad goes, because she has Alzheimer's, she's having a good 72 hours. I go, good, let's celebrate her birthday tomorrow night. It's a week early. So I'm excited. That's why I'm making this cake. So I get this cake out of the oven, and it's like burnt to death. So now I've got to figure out how to tell the whole family, hey,
You've burned the cake.
I've burnt the cake.
Right.
But the other layer looked beautiful.
This is a very June Cleaver problem.
Oh, my God. I'm like, okay, so I text my dad, hey, I made the cake. Does she like chocolate? And he sends me this big, my dad loves to text, big letters that says, make it a small cake. And I'm going, sweet Jesus, there's no way. That's great. It's awesome. Just one layer. So now I got to make this one layer look like a big cake. So I am thinking bacon and things I'm going to put on the cake. Okay? So I just
You
made
went
a-
into your other cupboards to find stuff that you could add to the
add
cake
on top
to make
of the
it
cake
taller.
to make it taller because I'm gonna be late for work, right? Oh my God, I had so much fun. So I get this cake is covered with so much frosting. And I'm thinking, it's got to go in the fridge. So it goes in the fridge. My daughter finds it
firm it
later.
up.
To firm it up. And I have texted her with the problem. She gets up and decides it needs another layer of crap. So she has some old candy in the bedroom and that she pulls out. I don't know where she gets the candy. She decorates the
She's
cake.
a secret eater.
Secret eater. And, well, she knows no more secrets now, let me tell you. I'm like, that explains a little rodent issue. So,
I was a secret eater too.
oh my gosh. There's no secrets when I'm eating. I mean, if I want chocolate in the nightstand, girls, just put it there and be proud. You know what I mean?
Right.
You want 2 o'clock in the morning, you have a...
I had a whole drawer.
She loved the cake because my daughter... A drawer?
I had a drawer of
This
food.
could be a whole food... What was
My
in the
daughter
drawer?
did that too.
Chips.
Chips?
Why
am I not surprised?
chocolate,
Yeah.
soda.
Yeah, well, I couldn't keep a lobster in the bedstand, but I would have tried. I would have tried a little lobster in a tank. Did you guys ever have sea monkeys as a kid?
Oh, I wanted them
God,
because I
they
thought
were
they had
fun.
crowns on them.
Well,
they don't.
They're so tiny. And when I was, they were like this tall, but you could see them. I always thought they had faces. They just was brine shrimp.
This is our food segment. Oh, because
I'm
they're
sorry.
shrimp. I get it.
I thought we were
No, I
talking.
loved it.
I thought we were talking about our pets. Never mind.
no, oh no, but I loved it because I was trying to figure out why. But I was like, okay, you went from lobster to sea monkeys. I get it. I
You're
totally
following
get it.
it.
Yeah.
It's try. And
What,
this is
so
why,
what happened
this is
after
why
the,
I don't
the candy
drink.
layer
Yeah,
on
what
this
happened
cake?
with the cake?
Oh, she loved it. It was phenomenal. But the thing was, I blew it. I didn't have a birthday candle in the house. You know all those stupid tea lights you keep? I put a little tea light on it, and we put some whipped cream around the tea light. It was
That
phenomenal.
sounds like an awesome ghetto cake.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah, it was. And she's this refined British woman, and she
She
loved
has
it.
Alzheimer's, right?
Well, I don't know. That's what they
Oh.
tell me, but I think I have no idea.
My dad had Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
My dad had Alzheimer's, and there was this guy that was in. I would sometimes visit at. He lived for 12 years after his diagnosis, and only for the last 2 years was he in assisted living. And there was this lunchroom, right, where everybody would eat lunch, and it was the locked or the unlocked ward, so it was people who were not ambulatory anymore. And there was this guy, and you could tell. I would come and visit my dad during the lunchtime, and there was this guy. The nurses it was in a cafeteria type setting, right? Things are on compartmentalized trays, everything all at once. You get your vegetable, your main course, your salad, and your dessert. And there was this guy in the assisted living cafeteria, and he was talking to the nurse, right, this woman, and he was calling her waitress, which I thought was very funny because clearly his mind was somewhere else. And with Alzheimer's, you got to laugh because if you don't laugh, what else are you going to do, right? And this guy was screaming after her, and he was like, "Waitress, waitress!" And he had chocolate all over his face, right? Just smeared like a total kid, like a 3-year-old kid. And he said, "I have no cake." And he was looking down, like there was the square of his cake on it was gone. He'd eaten it the first thing, and like he saw it and ate it. And he said, "Everyone else here has cake. I have no cake. Where is my cake?" And she said, "Oh, sir, you've had your cake." She was trying to say something because she didn't want him to get upset. But I thought, there's a problem. I probably would eat my cake first, and I probably, even if I kind of knew that I had already eaten it, I would probably make a stink and pretend.
Oh, for sure.
I would do that
Everybody
too.
wants more cake.
Everybody
Anyway,
wants
she
more
liked it. It was awesome. I probably should not have talked about that because that's
Why?
personal family. It's
Why?
personal family business.
Oh, you'll have to learn how to do it.
Oh, I'll have to
on the
learn how to do
radio.
it. It's
Your
good. It's
family's
all
never
cool.
going to listen to this.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's the truth.
It's just
That
a
is the
practice
truth.
show.
You're right. I'm in a lot.
We've,
Oh, it's a
we've
practice
sworn,
show. Good.
we've talked about, we've said the word cock, I believe, in the first hour.
I think it was the
We were
first
talking
10
about
minutes.
chickens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. We've said all kinds of things.
No, yeah. No,
It's
she
okay.
loved the cake. But anyways, that was my food thing.
Okay.
My contribution.
I like it. That was our food segment. Okay. When we come back, we're going to have to talk about it. We're going to have to get real. We're going to talk about the whole Bill Cosby thing. You're listening to the Neighbor Ladies.
Meet Your Neighbor Lady, Boston.
Well, my family Wow, what do I say? I am the mean mom of the family. I have a 17 and an 18-year-old, and they love it when I give them a star on their chore chart at age 17.
That's nice.
Meet your neighbor lady, Karen J.
Well, I am a mama bear. I have a boy cub who is just turned 18. He just graduated from high school. Woohoo! That was like, I mean, you know, I don't want to talk shit, but we were all a little worried there for a while. And thankfully, I'll be saving money because he's going to go to community college. My daughter cub she's a very good student. She is 19, almost 20. She is going to be a sophomore at DePaul University in Chicago.
Very cool.
Yes. She's pretty self-sufficient, except she calls home quite often asking for money. Snap cash.
It'll happen. Snap cash?
Yeah, it's like instant.
Really?
Yeah.
You'll have to tell me more about that.
Yeah. Everybody needs snap cashing.
Meet your neighbor lady, Colleen.
About my family, I am the proud parent of 2 lovely children that I have procured from previous sexual experiences.
Meet your neighbor lady, Suzanne.
I am the proud mother of 2 children as well. Different as night and day. My oldest is a West Point grad, and my youngest is a child with rhythm. Let's just leave it at that.
That's good. She's not going to get anybody pregnant.
Because it's a method.
Until he wants to.
Right.
Until they want to. Excellent. Welcome back. You're listening to The Neighbor Ladies. It's our new podcast here on the Alive and Social Network. And let's see, we've talked about all kinds of things. We had our problem of the day. We did a little pop culture segment. We talked about neighborhoods. We talked about all kinds of things. But now, it's our new segment. Everything's a new segment. It's our Come to Jesus segment. It's for those stories where you say, all right, we got to get to the bottom of this. It's the segment, Let's Get Real. Bill Cosby. What happens when heroes crumble? Bill Cosby, beloved comedian, family comedian, beloved educator, actor, comedian. What else has he done? He's done all kinds of things.
Well, he's done an awful lot for his own community. Back in Pennsylvania where he grew up, he just took care of a lot of. He just helped a lot of guys go to college, a lot of women. Big supporter of education among Negroes. Yeah, he's done.
Do people say that
Oh
word
my
anymore?
God, Boston! What the hell?
I'm reading it right off this thing here. Wait. Blame it on that.
What?
We need an edit.
The Washington Post.
What article are you?
Negroes anymore.
I was repeating.
Did we just go into the Wayback Machine?
Oh my God!
I am so mortified that I said that, but it wasn't the
I'm
phrase.
never going to let you forget that.
I know. Colored people was
What?
the other one.
Is that on the
No,
article that you're
no,
reading?
no. I'm just thinking of phrases never to use again.
Oh,
I've
Again.
changed. I am like so mortified. Anyways, fortunately, this was a practice section. Oh my God.
Boston.
Anyways, I can't.
Black
even believe
lives
that I'm
matter,
reading-
okay?
Okay, they do.
as a white person, here's what
As
I'm
a
never sure of.
thin-lipped white woman, I can tell you right now, I'm so mortified. Oh, he's 78 years old. I did not know that.
He's a gentleman of a certain age. Okay, here's what.
Did I really say the N-word?
You did.
No, you did not say the N-word.
Oh, I said the N-E word, which was
And you said the COLORED.
colored people. I was thinking of my great-great-grandmother.
She's black?
Anyways. There's a story there.
Tell me the story.
She lived on a plantation growing up in Georgia. I can show you yeah, she did.
Wait, was she a slave?
Her parents had slaves.
Oh, okay.
So interesting family stories. Anyways, they moved to New England because there were a lot
You know,
of
Ben
jobs.
Affleck just found out that his ancestors had slaves too.
I know, and then he was so embarrassed he lied about it, right?
Yeah.
Did he really?
He
Yeah,
lied
he
about it
did.
in the PBS special on.
Because he was so embarrassed.
There's
He just
nothing
found
you
out.
can do about your ancestors.
I
The
know.
only thing you can do is what you can do right now.
I heard that, and I kept hoping. Well, maybe Ben Affleck and I are cousins. It's all about me,
right.
and wouldn't that be something?
Why would
to tell
you want
the
to be his
neighbors?
cousin?
I really don't.
Okay.
He's a
Okay.
he's a Southie. He's from Dorchester, Massachusetts.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Because you guys are
He's
kind of
pretty
in the
cute
same neck
though.
of the
Like
woods.
I wouldn't want to be related to him.
No, I like Matt Damon more. But anyways,
I do
know.
too.
back to
Oh,
Bill.
I love him.
I
too.
know.
yeah, I
I
think
like
Matt's
Matt
a good
Damon.
guy. Okay, what do I know? I have never met either one of them, but
Let's get back to it. Cosby.
Yeah, sorry.
What happens when heroes crumble? Okay. So obviously, there's 3 comedians in the room here. This is a hero. My Cosby came on my radar. I was born in 1968 with Fat Albert, and then he would always have his moral of the story. Did you? You're
Yeah,
probably
I-
too young to watch Fat Albert.
I
no?
did watch Fat Albert.
Fat
though.
Albert
reruns and
Oh
stuff.
my gosh! Hey,
Yeah.
hey, hey!
I
It's
know.
Fat Albert and the kids, all the kids from the neighborhood. I just thought, well, I want to live in a neighborhood like that with all the with Fat Albert and the gang. You know, I loved him. I got to tell you, I wasn't a big fan of the '80s Cosby Show
Yeah.
because for me it was a little too clean. If that makes
Yeah.
sense, it just I don't like that form of sitcom anyway. I
It
don't
seems
like.
kind of too scripted almost. I don't know.
Well, they weren't scripted. I think everybody was phenomenal on that show. I mean,
Yeah.
all the actors were phenomenal, and I think there was a lot of improv that went on in that show.
Really?
But it just seemed to the situation that I don't like certain sitcoms anyway. I don't like network sitcoms.
Yeah.
I stopped watching network sitcoms right around the time of what was that one with Alex P. Keaton?
Family Ties.
Family Ties. I got about 3 episodes into that, and I just said, I'm done with this genre of art, and I stopped. And every once in a while I would see a sitcom, and I've never seen an episode of Friends.
that might not be a bad thing.
I just was kind of done with it. So I never got
Yeah.
to see Cosby's Show, but I understand that it was super popular. I mean,
Yeah.
I saw a few episodes here and there, but the art form kind of bores me, if that makes sense. Family
And
Ties.
maybe
So
it bored him too, and maybe that's
he was so
why
good
he
at it.
strayed.
He was no, I don't think. Okay, we're going off topic, but that's maybe part of this whole neighbor lady thing is what I'm getting, which I think is awesome.
well, I gotta
the
say it. Oh, go ahead.
The allegations: 40 women, 40 plus women, that he is drugged and assaulted.
So he's a habitual rapist.
Yeah,
Serial rapist.
serial
A
rapist.
serial rapist.
Does it take away from all of the wonderful things that he's accomplished? That's
Yes, I think to a degree it does.
Yes.
Because he had, I think, if you look at some of the interviews going back, he came off as telling, well, I don't know. You'd have to see it, guys, to it's a tough topic, and I'm not making a complete thought. He just came off as, hey, if go to college, do this, your life is going to be better. For the average,
He always
know,
preached morality.
he preached morality,
not
yes.
just to people,
And-
but comics too. And because
Yeah.
he was a clean comic, and it just the whole thing is like, dude, you're full of shit.
Right? Didn't he have a
Yeah.
problem with? He had a problem with rap music, and he had a problem with.
I think he had a problem
young
with black
urban
people.
Young urban, right? Exactly.
Right, and that's how it came off. And he didn't like live in an area either where there were problems. I mean, he lived in Amherst, Massachusetts, which is a pretty affluent college community, and that's where he raised his kids. But for me, it's the morality issue and how he came off in the '80s as the holier than thou. And when heroes crumble like this, yeah, they're human, but this is huge. This is major criminal activity. It's not like, oh, we had a little drinking problem and there were a few affairs,
That's true.
I mean, this is big prison stuff.
Yeah, because it's the premeditation part of it. If it's 40
Exactly.
times and it's drugging somebody, can you imagine? You ever dose your kids with Benadryl to get them to shut up?
What, to get them on an airplane so that
Yeah.
they don't scream? I mean, yeah. I'm guilty. I'm guilty as charged. I am. Until your son says to the stewardess on the plane, hey, my mom just gave me Benadryl. And then you never do it again because he's aware of it. But anyways, back to Bill.
you just kind of put it in a little bit of pudding.
Right.
Brownies.
Right? Kind of like, or peanut butter, like you're going to give it to the cat.
Yeah.
You think, okay, well, this guy, not a funny thing. He really did this. He really had to think about it. I want to target you. I want to drug you, and then I'm going to attack you. I'm going to incapacitate you, and I'm going to attack you. And over and over and over again, 40 times, probably more.
Yeah.
Probably more, because it's over 20, 30 years.
Do you remember do you remember when it came up in the 80s?
Yeah,
Yeah, and then it went away very quickly.
right,
Yeah.
because of money.
Yeah.
Right, and influence.
Camille.
So he's definitely used his, and that's the other thing that probably makes this not sit well with a whole bunch of people, is because he's used his goodwill
Right.
and the good guy chips. He's cashed them in to say, oh, I would never do this, and oh, look at what I've done. I think it takes it away. Will he get prosecuted? Probably not.
Probably not.
I heard there's one case that they could maybe pending.
Yeah.
But he's already
2000.
been prosecuted in the court of public opinion. You know.
Right.
All right.
I mean, I'll just say, I mean, I grew up I admired him.
Yeah.
You know, I
yeah,
did.
I did
too. I
too.
had like every
He was my
book
black
he ever
he was
wrote.
my black TV dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, at least my white TV dad, Tom Bosley, never drugged and raped anyone.
Your black TV dad and your white TV dad.
Yeah.
I like that
happy
idea.
days.
If I had to
Yeah.
have a black TV dad, who would it be? I think it would be James.
James.
James Evans from Good Times.
Oh,
From
yeah,
Good
yeah.
Times.
Really?
Oh man.
yeah.
You liked him?
I'm thinking.
I
I'm
loved
thinking Prince
him.
of Bel Air.
John
you know?
Amos, he was hot. John Amos was very good looking. Think about, I mean, he still is a handsome man. And he's funny. He's got excellent comic timing. All right. This was The Neighbor Ladies. Thanks for joining us, everyone. See you next week.